No, I mean, while we're here talking about your guys' DB, I mean, yeah, you guys lost Jade, of course. I I'm not too worried about your guys' secondary, and I mean, if you guys, I mean, if you guys want to switch over to the other side of the ball each
Yeah.
way for us, um, I first let me say this. Um, I think your defense. I think you guys are coming in with the best front seven in college football. On top of that, I do believe that you have enough talent in return. When you have guys, when you got maybe the best pass rusher in college football, and then Berkshire on the other side, right? He's a pretty
Yeah.
good football. He's pretty good too. I watched your guys' game against Oklahoma, and what I did was I just skipped until I saw him on the field. That's all I did. And and then on top of that, you got the best linebacker unit in college football, the best linebacker in college football in Hill Jr. I think when you have that and you run the defense that you run, which is similar to what the Wolverines run, it I think it helps you guys because you're not putting yourselves in situations where you're an idiot like Notre Dame and you put your guys on one-on-one situations. And man, you guys don't do that, and you know better than to do that. So I do, and that's one of the reasons, man. I don't think it's gonna be this bad, but I think you're like you mentioned it earlier, Matthew. I mean, you remember that 12-9 game LSU Bama, or was
Yep.
it
I think it was 9-6.
Yeah, and 3 years ago it was what was that Georgia Clemson score? First game of the year.
10-3, I think.
21. Yeah, like it was a defensive touchdown. So I don't think it's gonna be that bad because I think Sark and Ryan Day as head coaches, they have they're not calling plays, but they got their hands in there. And then you look at the talent just around these quarterbacks, and look who the quarterbacks are. You know, a lot of guys. You got Archman, you got Nuss out of LSU, who I have winning the Heisman. You have all these guys, but for some odd reason, Julian Sand is just getting left out of these conversations as if he didn't finish ahead of I think he finished second. First was Lagway, as he should have been, and third was then Raiola. And so and that was the guy that Nick Saban wanted. Like he wanted him. So I do think it's gonna be interesting to see how these offenses go against each other. But going against your guys' defense, I really want to see it. But I do believe because we bring our interior O line back, that's where we have some type of advantage.
So I'd like to camp out there for a second because you mentioned saying, coming in, what do we think he's going to be like? What is it going to look like in this Ryan Day offense? No shots at Will Howard. Guy won a national championship, but I think Julian's saying maybe an athletic step up.
He's more talented than Will,
right?
And the funny part is people think Julian Sand can't run. I think he's a statue. He's not. Julian's. Oh yeah, he's purely more talented. Has a better arm. Now is Julian 6'4", 230 pounds? No, but he doesn't need to be. I wasn't sure. Did you guys get a chance to catch our spring game?
Yeah, I didn't watch much of it. I watched a little, but not much.
Just look at how quick that ball's out of his hands. Which, my goodness, when you're going against guys like Colin Simmons, you'll want that and you need that. But you look at things like that. I think you can expect the ball's gonna be out quick. He's gonna make the right play. If he needs to throw the ball out of bounds, he's gonna throw it out of there. He's not gonna be like Shedeur Sanders and take the sack to save his passing percentage. And plus Ryan Day will pull him out the game for doing some crap like that. I think you can expect a guy who knows where to put the ball. And on top of that, I think you're looking at a guy that has everything around him. I think the biggest concern you're looking at for Julian, you bring in C.J. Donaldson out of West Virginia, 700 yards over the past 2 seasons, for both seasons. But it's a really young running back unit, which means they probably aren't good at pass protection. So that's one of the things I'm really worried about. But I think Julian is going to be fine. I as long as Ryan Day is the head coach at Ohio State, I have no reason to believe the quarterback position is going to struggle. The worst. I mean, Kyle McCord threw 26 touchdowns, and that was with Emeka Egbuka being hurt throughout the season. Running backs getting hurt, and everyone knows you're throwing the ball to Marv. I think the stat line I pulled out for Julian this season was 35 plus touchdowns, 4,000 yards, 69 to 70% completion percentage, and maybe 6 to 7 interceptions. The defense, the offense is going to be on the field more than the defense was last year. He's gonna be in the field and put some stats. So I think the good part about that is that throughout the season he's going to get a lot of reps. But yeah, that's a tough first task.
Yeah. I mean, I think Gerald and I have talked about this enough to where we both agree the edge for Texas is probably the best position group on our team, and it might be the just best position group for anyone on any team.
You think it's better than linebacker?
Oh yeah, edge. Trey Moore most likely is going to line up at edge and linebacker. You can throw him in either one, but then Colin Simmons.
I didn't know that. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he'll be him and Brad Spence, who we got from Arkansas. They're going to play a little bit of both. They'll play linebacker and edge. They love versatility on the defense. You're going to see guys line up in weird positions sometimes, but Simmons, Burke, Lance Jackson is a freshman. If you don't know about him, read about him, look him up. 6'5", 280 pounds already as a freshman. Dude is a freak. Zeno Umeozulu, who his brother is going to be the left guard for Texas. That's our biggest concern, by the way. Offensive line is left guard, but he's going to be a pretty good player for Texas. Like the edge class is pretty stacked at Texas.
Yeah, I think from a depth perspective, I think edge probably has the advantage over the linebacker position because Anthony Hill, obviously, Leonga Leifau, obviously, those first two.
Linebacker in the country. I don't think
he's a monster. I've been telling Texas fans ever since we started covering, doing preseason stuff, enjoy every snap because that guy is vapors at the end of the season. Enjoy every snap. He is going to be an all-timer, and he's going to be gone pretty soon. He's elite. But I think after that, it's a lot of questions. There's a reason why Trey Moore is practicing both edge and linebacker, right? Because they don't necessarily know who they have back there. But I guess you mentioned the interior of the offensive line is great. The tackles were great a year ago. Kind of some question marks coming in, matching up against a group that's let's be honest, elite at Texas. So what is how do you expect that group to hold up again? First game, offensive line takes a little bit to get into the groove. What is how worried are you about that?
Not at all.
Okay.
I think this offensive line has a chance to win the Joe Moore Award. Again, we're bringing back the interior that from the playoff. That I think that a lot of people are forgetting that Texas, Notre Dame, and Oregon had three of the top 10 defensive lines in college football. A lot of people didn't Luke Montgomery. I knew he was going to be good. Tegra, he's a good player when he wants to be. Well, I think a lot of people forgot that Carson Hinsman, who was a center in the playoffs, he was the center all season in 2023. McLaughlin came in, won the Remington. But Aniyanwa on the from out of Rice, I'm very confident in him. I mean, there's been 4 spots that are already secured. It's left tackle to center. And then when it comes to right guard and right tackle, Austin Sarabeld is going to start no matter what. The question is, does Tegra start at right guard, and then Sarabeld goes to right tackle, or does Sarabeld go to right guard and Philip Daniels out of Minnesota, the transfer, plays there? Now, Philip Daniels didn't have 5 starts out of last season, so not a lot. CBS actually put him in their top 150 college football players, but I gotta see it first, right? So I'm not gonna call you a top 150 player in the nation off of 5 games, and in 2 of them you struggled, but you have a lot of talent, but you struggled. So we'll see what happens there. Also, we have a new O-line coach. Justin Fry goes off to the NFL. We bring in Tyler Bowen out of Penn State, so we gotta see how that works out. But I'm very confident in this offensive line. but they have got whoever is at right tackle. My God, they have got. You got. Listen, man. If you're gonna have a good game all season outside the Wolverine game, have a good game that day. Because Colin Simmons is coming and he's coming fast. He's gonna bend. He's gonna spin. He's gonna jump. He's a freak athlete. He's gonna run by you. Yeah, so that spot's where I'm worried. And mind you, guys, right tackle's been a point of conversation now for 3-4 years.
Yeah, would you say you're more worried about the change with your offensive line coach or Brian Hartline coming in as OC?
I'm not worried at all. So
At either one?
Well, all right, no, let me out of the two. All right, I'm talking about Brian Hartline. I ain't worried.
Okay.
Tyler Bowen, I'm worried. Okay, well, it's I don't know how worried I'm supposed to be. Like, and again, I don't want to sound like a fanboy, so this is why I'm having him come up with reasons. Tyler Bowen's whole thing has been he's been a recruiter, mostly recruiting, but he's run games. That is his call to fame. Everyone since he was at Penn State, it was known that if you ask him to call a pass play, it probably won't work out. But that was why Ryan Day talked to Brian Hartline and said, "How do you feel about bringing him in? Help run the run game?" He said, "Don't bring him in." So that's why I'm not worried. But at the end of the day, right? You gotta hope it works. This isn't. I mean, Penn State's a fine program, a really good program. This is not Penn State. We're on the banks of the Olentangy in Ohio, Columbus. So we gotta see how it works out. And again, like I don't even know if it's so much him than it is your defensive line coach and your defensive line. Actually, it's not just defensive line coach. Clark is the edge line, the DN coach, the edge coach.
Yeah. So
he's going against elite guys. Like, yeah, you guys have my freaking D line coach over there. But you have no idea how mad I am about that. But no, I'm more worried about him. I'm not worried about what he calls. I'm more so worried about what he's going against, which is you guys. So
you can take that frustration and just we'll exchange it for Brian Hartline taking every wide receiver to come out of Austin for the last 40 years. Effectively, is what it feels like. So we'll take. I mean, it worked out for both of us, right? You got Heisman level wide receivers from Austin. We'll take the defensive line coaches.
Well, I think it's pretty interesting too that on both sides of the ball, so your interior versus our interior on the offensive line, and then vice versa, I think there's question marks on both sides that are going to get answered a little bit during this game. I don't think they're going to be completely answered during this game because Gerald agrees with this. Our left guard is definitely the biggest question mark on the team. And then you guys have the interior question marks, obviously, and then vice versa, same thing. So I think that's like a little matchup on both sides of the ball that's probably going to determine the game. It's going to be very interesting to watch. And Ryan was right too. Like, these are two super talented teams, two of the three most talented teams in the country. And they're both going to get a lot better during the year because of all the young players at key positions. So that's the thing too. People are going to write headlines and say, well, this determines this because of this game. That's not going to be the case. Like, both these teams, in my opinion, are going to end up probably in the Final Four, Final Eight at least again. So I'm just excited for the game, honestly. That's my big overall point. I mean, we're going to play Ohio State, twice in 9 months, 8 months. So it's going to be exciting.